Fire destroys buildings in Kitty, displacing residents, including the elderly. Newsroom Guyana reports. A fire devastated several buildings between Thomas and Pike Streets in Kitty, Georgetown, on Thursday, leaving numerous residents displaced. When the newsroom arrived at the scene around 12:30 p.m., thick smoke filled the area as flames engulfed closely situated structures. The Guyana Fire Service responded approximately 30 minutes after the initial call, but the firefighters faced a race against time as the fire quickly spread from the original building to two adjacent apartment complexes. Firefighters established tenders at both Pike and Thomas Streets, working diligently to contain the blaze to one building. Meanwhile, residents attempted to douse their homes with water in a desperate effort to prevent further destruction. Randall Dugwood, 28, who lived on the top floor of one of the affected buildings, recounted the harrowing moments leading up to the fire. "I was relaxing when my mother said she smelled smoke. As soon as I opened the back door, I saw bright orange flames in the downstairs apartment. I tried throwing water on it," he said. Realizing his attempts were futile, Dugwood urged his mother, Evelyn Benjamin, 64, to call the fire service. He then rushed to the ground floor, where two elderly cousins lived. An alarm had been raised, and neighbors helped him evacuate the women from the apartment. "The smoke made it difficult for people to escape, but I held onto the rails and managed to get out with my mother before the fire consumed the building. Right now, I'm just happy to be here with her. It's sad, but we have our lives," he expressed. The two women, Verly DeBarros, 87, and Lucille Peters, 97, are cousins who lived on the first floor. Verly noted that Lucille had complained of feeling overheated just moments before they became aware of the fire. She suspects it may have been caused by faulty wiring. Lucille, said she was feeling hot. "I told her there shouldn't be any heat since I don't cook in the house. The wiring needs to be changed, that could have caused it," Verly explained. Both households reported that all their belongings were destroyed in the fire, with losses estimated in the millions of dollars. The community is left reeling from the incident as residents come together to support those affected. Hotel owner released from police custody as probe into Adriana Young's death continues. Newsroom reports. The owner of the Doubleday Hotel, who was detained in connection with the investigation into the death of 11-year-old Adriana Young, has been released from police custody after the statutory detention period expired, confirmed the Guyana Police Force, GPF. He is now required to report to the police daily and has been barred from leaving the country. As part of the ongoing investigation, DNA samples collected from both the hotel owner and the late Adriana Young are being sent to the Mount Sinai Health System in New York for advanced forensic testing, escorted by a police forensic investigator. The GPF described the investigation as serious in nature, which has led to multiple law enforcement and civilian personnel being placed on administrative leave, including Assistant Commissioner Khalid Mandal. A civilian employee responsible for monitoring security footage on the day of the incident admitted to investigators that she mistakenly entered the wrong date while reviewing camera footage near the Doubleday Hotel. This error resulted in a false report indicating that a woman matching Young's description had left the premises with a man. Further scrutiny revealed that a sergeant from the Special Constabulary Unit falsely claimed to have received a tip-off regarding Young entering a black Ram vehicle. Investigators traced this claim to an anonymous caller, who was actually well acquainted with the officer. The caller told detectives his assertion was based on overhearing a conversation outside the hotel and communicated this to the sergeant during a 10-minute phone call, as corroborated by call records. Due to apparent negligence, a corporal and a constable have also been removed from duty pending further inquiry. The GPF has stated that the investigation remains active and ongoing. Police constable remanded after being caught with 34.6 kilograms of ganja. Newsroom reports. A police constable from the Guyana Police Force has been remanded to prison after being formally charged with possession of narcotics for the purpose of trafficking. Sherman Ferguson, 31, appeared at the Friendship Magistrates Court on Wednesday, April 30th, where he pleaded not guilty to the charge. The case has been adjourned to May 22, 2025. Ferguson's court appearance follows his interception in an intelligence-led operation along the Linden-Soesdijk Highway near Hororuni on April 10. His arrest drew public scrutiny earlier this week, raising questions about the delay in bringing the case to court. According to police reports, Ferguson was traveling west along the southern side of the highway when officers stopped and searched his vehicle. Inside the boot, they discovered 3 large transparent plastic bags containing what appeared to be cannabis, specifically leaves, seeds, and stems. The substance was later confirmed to weigh approximately 34.6 kilograms. Following the discovery, Ferguson was cautioned and taken into custody. He was subsequently charged with possession of narcotics for the purpose of trafficking. Minister Indar sues former Mayor Ubridge Nareen for defamation over social media allegations. Newsroom reports, Diadat Indar, minister within the Ministry of Public Works, has initiated legal proceedings against former mayor of Georgetown, Pt. Ubridge Nareen, in the High Court, alleging defamation stemming from statements made on social media. According to the statement of claim filed on Wednesday, Minister Indar is seeking damages exceeding $60 million, along with aggravated and/or exemplary damages. He also seeks an injunction to prevent further publication of the allegedly defamatory statements, the removal of existing posts from social media, and a public retraction and apology from Mr. Nareen. The legal action arises from a Facebook post published on April 28 on the page, Pt. Ubridge Nareen, former mayor of the city of Georgetown, which has nearly 28,000 followers. In the post, Mr. Nareen criticized Minister Indar's silence following the tragic discovery of 11-year-old Adriana Young's body near a pool at the Doubleday Hotel in Region 3. He implied that Minister Indar may have a personal or business connection with the hotel and suggested possible interference with media coverage of the incident. Minister Indar denies all allegations, asserting that the statements are false, baseless, and damaging to his reputation. The claim contends that Mr. Nareen's words suggest impropriety, a conflict of interest, and intentional misinformation, claims that the minister emphatically refutes. The original Facebook post was widely viewed, shared 62 times, and garnered over 130 comments. A follow-up post by Mr. Nareen allegedly intensified the defamatory nature of the first by questioning the timing and sincerity of the minister's public response. Minister Indar, a fellow of the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants and former president of the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry, has been a member of Parliament since August 2020. He also holds a senior position within the ruling People's Progressive Party, PPP. The minister argues that the posts have caused him considerable distress and reputational harm. His attorneys, SASE, are Gunraj and Shania Y. Cummings of Gunraj and Company, are representing him in this matter. The court filing emphasizes that unless restrained, Mr. Nareen is likely to continue publishing similar defamatory content. The claim also requests interest under the Law Reform, Miscellaneous Provisions, Act and any further relief the court may deem appropriate. Mr. Nareen has been officially served via the Supreme Court's electronic litigation portal and has been given 8 days to file a defense. At the time of publication, Mr. Nareen had not publicly responded to the lawsuit. Lawyer denies claims of crowding during Adriana Young's autopsy. Rickford Burke has reported on social media that approximately 22 individuals crowded the examination room during the autopsy of Adriana Young, raising serious concerns about the involvement of government officials. The People's Progressive Party, PPP, government is facing intense criticism for allegedly allowing numerous individuals, including political allies, into the autopsy room. Burke further highlighted, according to a senior official at the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, GPHC, there were at least 10 individuals present who were video recording the procedure, representing various government agencies and interests. The source described the situation as obviously too crowded and questioned the unusually high number of government representatives present, labeling it as suspicious. Among those reported to be in attendance were Chief Medical Officer Dr. Nareen Singh and Government Pathologist Dr. Nehal Singh, among others. An overseas source corroborated this account, stating that the congested environment made some international pathologists uncomfortable. Burke further advised that the family of Adriana Young should demand a catalog of who recorded the autopsy and the reasons behind the recordings. In contrast, Darren Wade, the lawyer representing Young's family, disputed Burke's claims. He stated, "The room was neither crowded nor congested. 10 cameras? This is again false information. These statements are deeply troubling and reckless." Wade emphasized that the post-mortem examination, P, was conducted in a large room where Dr. Collins had established specific ground rules regarding who could be present. He characterized the claims of congestion as dishonest and asserted that the team expressed no discomfort regarding space. 10-day workers should not be forced to attend political rallies, Jagdeo asserts. Kaider News reports. Vice President and General Secretary of the People's Progressive Party Civic, PPP/C, Barrett Jagdeo, has stated that he is unaware of any part-time government workers being coerced into attending PPP rallies under the threat of job loss. At a recent press conference, Jagdeo addressed reports suggesting that part-time workers are being compelled to participate in activities outside their job descriptions. He responded, "I don't know of anyone who has been forced to attend any meetings or who will be fired for political reasons. Many people in this country claim political discrimination when they fail to perform and are let go." Jagdeo explained that the government employs approximately 15,000 part-time workers across schools, hospitals, and local government agencies. He acknowledged that while it is challenging to monitor every individual, workers are expected to fulfill their job responsibilities. If you're not working and delivering on the job, then you should lose it. People cannot just show up and collect a paycheck, he said. The goal was to build a work ethic, which has greatly benefited many women and single parents. He also recounted an instance where he advocated for a pregnant woman at risk of losing her part-time job due to her condition, urging local officials to show compassion. Sometimes, people are removed without consideration. We need to have more empathy and listen to individuals. That's what we encourage in these situations, Jagdeo stated. Teen in critical condition after being shot in back. Kaider News reports. A 19-year-old man from Virginogan, East Bank, Essequibo, is in critical condition after being shot in the back last Friday at the Tuition housing scheme. The teenager, identified as Garvel Hyman, is currently receiving treatment at the West Demerara Regional Hospital for severe injuries, including 2 broken ribs, a punctured lung, and internal bleeding. The bullet remains lodged in his back, and doctors have determined he is not stable enough for surgery. In an interview with Kaider News, Garvel's family, his siblings Abiola and Dexter Hyman, and sister-in-law Colette Hyman, shared details of the shooting and expressed frustration over the slow pace of the police investigation. Garvel is in a critical state. The bullet is still lodged in his back, and he cannot undergo surgery because he is not stable, the family said. They criticized the lack of a proper investigation since the day of the incident. On Tuesday, Assistant Commissioner and Commander of Region 3, Mahendra Sinarine, confirmed the shooting and stated that the suspect is currently in hiding. While the suspect is known, he is evading capture. I spoke to both parents yesterday and informed them of the situation. We are currently tied down but will coordinate with CID to look into the case, he said. When asked if a wanted bulletin had been issued for the suspect, Sinarine replied, "Not as yet." Dexter Hyman, who was present during the shooting, recounted the events. "I had just come out on the road to get something to eat. My brother and I were talking about me going into the interior to work when he told me the suspect had violated him." Dexter described how Garvel threw his bicycle at the suspect upon noticing him brandishing a firearm. After the altercation, a gunshot rang out, hitting Garvel in the left side of his back. Garvel ran into the scheme with the suspect following him. The suspect fired 2 shots in the air while Garvel sought a hiding place. He eventually lost consciousness and was taken to the hospital by a taxi, Abiola explained. The family alleges that the suspect has a criminal history, including a previous incident involving an unlicensed firearm. Colette added, "He was involved in a shooting with an unlicensed firearm in 2023. Garvel was initially treated at Leonora Hospital before being transferred to West Demerara Regional Hospital. They said he is not stable for surgery." He needs to be able to move around first before they can operate. The bullet needs to come out for him to fully recover, his sister said. Garvel's condition has deteriorated, with broken ribs, a punctured lung, and internal bleeding necessitating a chest tube to drain blood. On Tuesday morning he was reportedly vomiting blood, and doctors indicated that his lung had collapsed. After the incident, Dexter filed a report at the Leonora police station, but attempts to collect a statement from Garvel were repeatedly postponed. Colette recounted that the officer initially said she would come to the hospital to take a statement but later canceled due to a protest in Tucson. The family expressed their frustration after an officer at the station suggested they help locate the suspect themselves. I became upset and cried. My husband said that's not our job, Colette said. Despite showing the police a picture of the suspect, no action was taken. Up to Monday, I saw one of the men who was there when the shooting happened, but the police keep saying they're looking for him, Colette added. On their recent visit to the station seeking updates, the family encountered further delays and lack of information. It was a whole runaround with the police. They are dragging their feet on the matter, Abiola stated. The emotional family is pleading for justice. My brother tells me everything. To know he is in this situation, it's not easy. I cry every day. I want justice for my brother. I want the police to find this boy and investigate everyone involved, they urged. The family continues to call on the Guyana police force for urgent action and justice for Garvel, who remains hospitalized in critical condition. World Court tells Venezuela to refrain from conducting elections in Essequibo region. Newsroom reports. The International Court of Justice, ICJ, has unanimously reaffirmed provisional measures granted in December 2023, instructing Venezuela to refrain from conducting or preparing for elections in the Essequibo region. This reaffirmation is part of the ongoing substantive case before the ICJ regarding the long-standing arbitral award of October 3, 1899. On Thursday, the court stated, pending a final decision in the case, the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela shall refrain from conducting elections or preparing to conduct elections in the territory in dispute, which the Cooperative Republic of Guyana currently administers and over which it exercises control. Venezuela had announced plans to hold elections in the Essequibo region, a territory it has claimed for over 100 years. In recent days, the Bolivarian Republic has been issuing notices regarding candidates for these elections. Guyana asserts that Essequibo is an integral part of its sovereign territory, a stance supported by the ICJ in its December 2023 ruling. Consequently, the Venezuelan election plan, scheduled for May 25, 2025, is viewed by Guyana as a direct violation of the court's order and international law. In a Facebook post on Thursday, Guyana's President Dr. Irfan Ali welcomed the court's decision. Once again, Guyana's position has prevailed. Once again, it has been demonstrated that Guyana's stance aligns with international law. The government of Guyana welcomes this decision, he stated. Political and civil society group intensifies call for international probe into Adriana Young's death. By news source Guyana. A coalition of political parties and civil society groups has ramped up calls for an international investigation into the death of 11-year-old Adriana Young, dismissing President Irfan Ali's recent statements regarding the circumstances surrounding her demise. Adriana went missing during a family outing at the Doubleday Hotel in Tucson on the east bank of Essequibo and was found dead in the hotel's pool the following day, despite several searches having been conducted in the area. An autopsy performed by 3 international pathologists concluded that the cause of death was drowning. However, during a press conference on Monday night, President Ali stated he had received a report from the police that the pathologists had ruled out theories of forceful drowning or any other means of homicide. The family has since claimed that no such findings were communicated to them or their attorney. At a joint press conference held at the site of the hotel, Nigel Hughes, leader of the Alliance for Change, AFC, criticized the president's remarks, asserting that he is not a pathologist and should refrain from making definitive statements. Hughes emphasized that a preliminary report from the family's attorney, Darren Wade, indicated that the cause of death was solely drowning. He added, "The finding of drowning does not rule out it being a homicide. One of the key issues is determining where the drowning occurred. The toxicology report will be crucial in narrowing down the possibilities. If the pool water contains chlorine and any water found in her lungs does not, it significantly reduces the likelihood that she drowned in the pool." Hughes lamented the president's premature conclusions in light of the absence of an official pathology report, stating, "It is unfortunate that he would make such an expert call when we have not yet seen the professional report from the pathologists. I respectfully disagree with the president." He further noted that the president's comments could undermine public confidence in the Guyana police force. Hughes was supported by representatives from the AFC, the Assembly for Liberty and Prosperity, ALP, Vigilant for a New Guyana, VPAC, the People's Movement, TPM, and opposition MPs Annette Ferguson and Dawn Hastings Williams, along with various civil society members. Businessman Dr. Terence Campbell articulated the group's demands for an international investigation into Adriana's death and the removal of Commissioner of Police Clifton Hicken. "We are calling for an impartial investigation led by a credible international law enforcement agency, such as Scotland Yard, RCMP, or the FBI, under the auspices of the Guyana Police Force. Additionally, we demand the immediate removal of the Commissioner of Police pending the outcome of the investigations and the establishment of an independent civilian oversight authority to review and investigate allegations of misconduct within the police force," Dr. Campbell stated. He also condemned the excessive use of force against protesters and the stoking of racial intolerance, asserting that the unrest following Adriana's death reflects broader injustices faced by citizens daily, particularly the marginalized and working-class youth. ERC visits acid attack victims, condemns violence and hate. Guyana Times report. The Ethnic Relations Commission, ERC, visited the children and teachers who were severely injured in a recent acid attack while returning home from school in Chateau Margaux, East Coast Demerara. The visit, led by Deputy Chairman Charles Ogle, Commissioner Niz Subhan, Commissioner Inshan Porter, and Chief Executive Officer Gaman Camacho, aimed to provide comfort and moral support to the victims and their families during this deeply troubling time. This gesture of solidarity follows national outrage over the senseless acid attack, which left several innocent schoolchildren and educators with significant injuries. In a strongly worded statement after the visit, the ERC condemned the attack as a heinous act against defenseless individuals. The Commission also denounced the subsequent violence, including physical and verbal assaults, looting, and property damage that have erupted across the country in recent days. Violence has no place in justice, the Commission emphasized, calling for national unity in the face of grief and anger. The ERC's visit to the acid attack victims came shortly after a similar outreach to the family of Adriana Young, the young girl whose tragic and untimely death has left the nation in mourning. The Commission expressed its condolences and support to the grieving family, acknowledging the profound sense of loss felt across Guyana. All right-thinking members of our society are united in national grief and call for justice regarding the tragic death of innocent little Adriana Young, the ERC noted. They highlighted that some individuals are using this tragedy as an excuse to commit illegal acts and spread hateful content on social media. The Commission also addressed the fear and anxiety instilled in students, parents, and teachers by the acid attack, underscoring the disturbing reality that attending school has become a source of fear. They called for a recommitment to the values of safety, lawfulness, and social harmony, reminding citizens that no one should have to fear going about their daily lives. The ERC acknowledged that, regardless of ethnicity, religion, or political affiliation, there has been a unified condemnation of recent acts of violence from leaders across various sectors. In our times of distress and sorrow, we are reminded that Guyana is a multi-ethnic society, and our lives are all intricately woven into each other's, the Commission stated. Only through unity, love, and respect can we overcome. The ERC encouraged all Guyanese to reject hatred and division, advocating for active participation in promoting peace. They urged citizens to speak out against rhetoric that incites disharmony and to support efforts that heal rather than harm. On Monday, violent protests erupted nationwide as criminal elements sought to instill public terror by blocking roadways, burning debris, destroying public and private property, and harming innocent individuals.